There's dumb, and then there's publicly dumb. You know, the kind of chaos that makes security guards question their life choices. Welcome to a collection of moments so absurd, so perfectly American, you'll swear they can't be real. But every one of them is. 1. A man was politely escorted out of a Macy's for attempting to have a romantic slow dance with a female mannequin. He was reportedly whispering sweet nothings into its cold, plastic ear and got genuinely offended when it wouldn't lead. Security had to step in and break up the one-sided, lifeless love affair. 2. A woman was permanently banned from Walmart after her emotional support goat went on an absolute rampage. The creature not only tore open and devoured a family-sized box of Cheerios, but also left a trail of emotional support pellets all over the canned goods aisle. The cleanup crew was not emotionally supported. 3. One absolute genius decided a display bed at IKEA was the perfect place for his mid-afternoon siesta, complete with shoes off and a full-throated snore. He was only discovered when a couple trying to test the mattress nearly sat on him, forcing staff to wake him from his Scandinavian furniture-induced slumber. 4. A Costco shopper was banned for life after treating the free sample stations like his personal, all-you-can-eat buffet for nearly 2 hours. The final straw was when he pulled out a container and tried to get a to-go order of mini quiches, arguing that he'd already paid his membership dues. 5. A grown man was removed from Target for getting into a heated, one-sided screaming match with a self-checkout machine. He was heard yelling, "Don't you take that tone with me," at the automated voice that repeatedly announced an unexpected item in the bagging area. He was, in fact, losing the argument. 6. One customer tried to return a half-eaten pepperoni pizza to a Best Buy, claiming he wasn't satisfied with its processing power. When the baffled manager explained they exclusively sell electronics, the man furiously demanded to speak to the Geek Squad to file a formal complaint about the toppings. 7. An aspiring opera singer was ejected from a Whole Foods after deciding the produce aisle had the best acoustics for his daily practice. His booming rendition of an Italian aria reportedly caused several organic avocados to bruise from sheer stress, and he refused to stop until he finished his dramatic finale. 8. A guy in his 20s was tossed out for trying to claim a senior discount while wearing a hilariously fake gray wig and leaning heavily on a broom handle as a makeshift cane. He even faked a dramatic theatrical cough at the register, but the cashier was not impressed with his award-losing performance. 9. A teenager was kicked out of a grocery store after attempting the infamous gallon-smashing challenge. He executed a perfect, dramatic slip, sending a gallon of milk flying across the pristine floor. His horror was palpable when he realized his friend, the cameraman, had forgotten to press record. 10. Two friends were banned from a hardware store after attempting to reenact a scene from Jackass using a shopping cart and a leaf blower down the main aisle. Their dreams of high-speed glory were cut short when the manager calmly informed them that their liability insurance, unfortunately, did not cover profound stupidity. 11. A man was ejected from an AMC movie theater for bringing his own full-sized La-Z-Boy recliner from home. He managed to drag it all the way to the front row, then had the audacity to ask an usher where the nearest power outlet was so he could use the heated massage feature. 12. A would-be animal rights activist was banned from a PetSmart after attempting to liberate a hamster by releasing it from its cage. Her grand gesture of freedom resulted in a store-wide lockdown while employees frantically searched for a tiny fugitive now hiding somewhere behind the dog food. 13. One guy tried to return a rented tuxedo that was visibly covered in wedding cake, champagne stains, and what appeared to be grass stains on the knees. He argued with the manager for 20 minutes that it was defective, and demanded a full refund for his very eventful evening. 14. A group of friends was thrown out of a grocery store for inventing a new sport called frozen turkey bowling. They were using a shopping cart as the ball and a pyramid of frozen birds as the pins, right in the middle of the main aisle. The manager did not appreciate their new winter pastime. 15. A woman was removed from an AT&T store after causing a scene because they wouldn't accept her husband's ancient brick-like flip phone from 2003 as a trade-in for a new iPhone. She insisted it had immense sentimental value that should translate directly into a discount. 16. A man was kicked out of a Bass Pro Shops for trying to catch live fish out of the giant display aquarium. He brought his own tiny fishing rod from home and was patiently waiting for a bite when security informed him that the baits were for decorative purposes only. 17. Someone set up a full-blown office in a Panera Bread, complete with a desktop monitor, a printer, and a large potted ficus plant for ambiance. She got furious when staff told her she couldn't run her accounting business there for 8 hours a day on a single cup of coffee. 18. A man was banned from a Golden Corral for life after employees caught him stuffing his cargo shorts with crab legs. He tried to play it cool and waddle out, but the distinct sound of crunching shells with every step ultimately gave away his poorly planned seafood heist. 19. A group of teens was ejected from a mall for trying to ghost ride the glass elevator. They were sending it up and down empty between floors and then racing it on the escalators, causing mass confusion and annoying literally everyone who actually needed to use it. 20. An aspiring artist was removed from a Michael's craft store for attempting to pay for a basket of glitter and googly eyes with a coupon they had drawn themselves with a crayon. They argued it was a legitimate work of art and therefore had monetary value. It did not. 21. A man was caught using a display toilet at a Lowe's for its intended purpose. When confronted by a horrified employee, his only defense was to calmly state, "Well, there wasn't a sign on it saying I couldn't." He was then given a very personal escort out of the building. 22. A woman was asked to leave Sephora for giving another customer an aggressive, unsolicited makeover. She had appointed herself a beauty consultant and was caught trying to blend foundation on a stranger's face with her bare hands, insisting she could fix their whole look. 23. One genius tried to pay for his groceries using Monopoly money, getting into a serious debate with the cashier that it was legal tender because it came from a bank. The store manager had the unfortunate task of explaining the difference between Parker Brothers and the U.S. Treasury. 24. A guy was banned from a 24-hour gym for attempting to cook a whole rotisserie chicken on the sauna rocks. He claimed he was just being efficient by combining his workout with his meal prep. Other members complained about the overwhelming and frankly confusing smell. 25. A woman was kicked out of a Build-A-Bear workshop after demanding that the employees stuff her custom bear with raw ground beef she brought from home. She wanted her new stuffed friend to be anatomically correct, a request that horrified staff, parents, and children alike. 26. A man was kicked out of a grocery store for aggressively trying to start a fight with one of the live lobsters in the tank. He was tapping on the glass and yelling, "You think you're so tough in there?" and had to be removed before he challenged the crustacean to a duel in the parking lot. 27. An absolute madman was banned from Petco for methodically teaching every parrot in the store an impressive and colorful vocabulary of swear words. He was only caught when a manager overheard a cockatoo perfectly recite a George Carlin routine to a horrified family of 4. 28. One aspiring NASCAR driver was ejected from a Lowe's after he managed to start every single ride-on lawnmower in the display aisle. The resulting symphony of roaring engines and exhaust fumes created a toxic, deafening cloud that sent other shoppers running for their lives. 29. A woman dressed in a full business suit was removed from a Best Buy for conducting a very serious 2-hour Zoom job interview on a display laptop. She got annoyed and shushed employees who tried to explain that she couldn't just commandeer their $1,000 merchandise for her career advancement. 30. A prankster was thrown out of Walmart after he grabbed the intercom microphone at an unattended register to make a personal announcement. He asked for a cleanup on aisle 7 because his friend had just died of laughter after seeing the latest fashion trends in the clothing section. 31. A man was banned from Barnes & Noble for treating it like his personal library. He would read books for hours, and when someone tried to buy the book he was holding, he would hiss at them and angrily claim that he wasn't finished with it yet. 32. One customer at a 7-Eleven tried to demand a full refund on a losing lottery ticket. His flawless logic was that the product was clearly defective because it failed to perform its advertised function of making him rich. The clerk and state law disagreed. 33. A family was kicked out of Target for creating a shopping cart centipede by linking 6 carts together with bungee cords. They were snaking their way through the store, causing a massive traffic jam and taking out a precarious pyramid of canned peaches in the process. 34. An architect of chaos was banned from Costco for building an elaborate multi-room fort out of toilet paper and paper towel packages. He then got territorial and refused to let anyone buy a part of his load-bearing walls, leading to his royal eviction from the kingdom he created. 35. A woman was removed from an Old Navy after employees discovered she was trying to dye her hair bright purple in the dressing room sink. She was caught red-handed, or rather purple-handed, after permanently staining the sink, the mirror, and a large portion of the beige carpet. 36. A man tried to pay a $150 grocery bill with a fan stack of old Thanksgiving gift cards that said, "With love," in glitter. He argued heartfelt messages were tender, therefore legal tender, and demanded the cashier run the love balance. Accounting, tragically, could not locate the love ledger. 37. A customer was removed from a high-end department store for demanding to buy the clothes directly off a mannequin. When the employee explained they had the same items on a nearby rack, she insisted it wouldn't be the same and tried to undress the plastic model herself. 38. Someone was kicked out of Walmart after filing a formal 2-page written complaint at the customer service desk about the store's abysmal selection of mythical creatures. He was genuinely upset they didn't stock unicorns and demanded to know when their next shipment would arrive. 39. A couple was asked to leave a pottery barn after they brought a full 3-course meal from home to eat at a displayed dining room table. They had spread a tablecloth, lit battery-operated candles, and were arguing about who had to do the dishes when they were discovered. 40. A man was escorted out of the Costco Tire Center for getting furious with an employee who couldn't find a new set of all-season radials for his son's Power Wheels Jeep. He just could not comprehend why they didn't stock tires for a plastic toy car. 41. A man was escorted out of an Apple store after bringing in his rusty, crumb-filled kitchen toaster to the Genius Bar for repairs. He was dead serious, arguing that since it was a machine and he was not a genius, they were logically the only ones who could help him fix his breakfast dilemma. 42. A woman was asked to leave a Sprouts Farmers Market after she was found using the automatic vegetable mister in the produce aisle as her own personal spa treatment. She was just standing there with her eyes closed, getting a light, refreshing spray, and got annoyed when an employee interrupted her hydration therapy. 43. A literature enthusiast was banned from a bookstore for loudly and dramatically acting out the final, spoiler-filled chapter of a popular new mystery novel. He provided unique voices for all the characters, revealing the killer to a crowd of increasingly furious potential buyers. 44. An aspiring extreme sports athlete was thrown out of a Target for attempting to use a running floor polishing machine as his personal hoverboard. His joyride lasted about 8 glorious feet before he, the machine, and a massive display of tortilla chips all became one tragic, waxy mess. 45. A grown man in his 30s was removed from a toy store after getting into a tearful, high-pitched screaming argument with an 8-year-old boy over the last remaining Captain Cosmic action figure. Security had to intervene when the man refused to let go, citing that he saw it first. 46. Someone at Home Depot tried to get the employee at the paint counter to create a custom color by blending a bottle of ketchup with a jar of mustard. He insisted he was going for a bold, culinary-inspired look for his dining room and could not understand the health code violations. 47. A wannabe stuntman was ejected from IKEA for practicing his parkour routine on the display furniture. He was leaping from bookshelf to sofa and vaulting over coffee tables until he misjudged a jump and went straight through a flimsy particle board wardrobe, Narnia style. 48. A customer marched into Walmart with a tangled strand of Christmas lights and demanded a refund because they didn't create a sense of wonder. He insisted the box should include guaranteed magic, then asked for compensation for emotional flatness. The manager recommended trying awe at another retailer. 49. A man walked into a Chase bank and confidently attempted to deposit a piece of notebook paper on which he had drawn a very detailed picture of a $1 million bill. He argued it was a visual representation of his assets, and was shocked when the teller did not accept his artwork. 50. A guy was kicked out of a Guitar Center for trying to trade in the plastic recorder he played in the 3rd grade for a brand new Gibson Les Paul. He claimed it was a vintage instrument with huge sentimental value, which he felt was an even trade for a $3,000 electric guitar. 51. A customer was banned from an AutoZone for insisting that the employees help him install a gigantic, definitely not street-legal spoiler onto his Honda Civic right there in the middle of the store. He argued, "You sold me the part, so you have to finish the job," and started opening tool sets. 52. A woman went to a CVS pharmacy counter, not for a prescription, but to ask the pharmacist to diagnose a weird rattling and coughing sound her car was making. She was genuinely perplexed when the medical professional couldn't tell her why her 2004 minivan was so sick. 53. A man was removed from a Dick's Sporting Goods for setting up a tent in the camping section and attempting to start a small, smokeless campfire with LED lights and a can of Sterno. He was just trying to get the full experience before buying, and was annoyed his immersion was broken. 54. An office supply store employee had to call security on a woman who tried to get the copy center to create a dozen highly realistic copies of a doctor's note for her son. When the employee refused to participate in her blatant act of forgery, she accused him of having terrible customer service. 55. One shopper was asked to leave a grocery store after trying on a wetsuit in the frozen food section. He claimed it was the only way to test its thermal protection qualities, and then proceeded to do his regular shopping for about 20 minutes, still wearing the skin-tight neoprene suit. 56. A man was ejected from a Best Buy parking lot for running a 200-foot extension cord from an outdoor outlet on the building, through the automatic doors and into his car. He was trying to power a full-sized vacuum cleaner to detail his vehicle and couldn't understand why the store objected to being his personal power grid. 57. One woman brought a live, squawking chicken to the butcher counter at Whole Foods and asked the employee to process it for her while she waited. She wanted the absolute freshest organic poultry possible and was genuinely shocked when the horrified butcher explained that's not how any of this works. 58. A customer was asked to leave a Starbucks after she set up her own mobile nail salon at a corner table, complete with UV lamp and a powerful collection of acetone and acrylic powders. The overwhelming chemical smell was apparently clashing with the delicate aroma of the pumpkin spice lattes. 59. A young couple was removed from a Home Depot for using one of the giant rolling warehouse ladders for a romantic Titanic-style photo shoot. The guy was standing on the top platform, arms outstretched, yelling, "I'm the king of the world," to the entire lumber aisle. 60. An aspiring influencer at Zara put her cart on hold, went live on TikTok at the register, and begged the chat to donate so we can buy these pants together. She offered the manager a tag and a wink as payment. The audience peaked at 12 viewers and one confused aunt. 61. A man was banned from Walmart for testing a new blender by bringing his own ingredients: raw fish, a handful of kale, and a can of Monster Energy drink. He told employees he had to see if it could handle his signature morning power smoothie before he would consider buying it. The smell cleared the entire aisle. 62. Someone was removed from Petco for trying to take the goldfish he just bought for a quick walk around the store. His brilliant idea involved putting the fish inside a hamster ball that he had filled with water, creating a wobbly, disorienting, and very short-lived aquatic death trap. 63. A man was kicked out of a Costco food court for trying to refill his own 5-gallon water jug from the self-serve soda fountain. He got into a heated argument with the staff, insisting that since he paid 99 cents for a drink, he was legally entitled to an unlimited quantity of their carbonated water. 64. An elderly gentleman was asked to leave a grocery store after appointing himself the official aisle traffic director. He came prepared with his own reflective vest and a whistle, and was aggressively directing cart traffic at intersections, creating a massive, confused, and very angry gridlock. 65. One genius was kicked out of a Taco Bell for taking their "think outside the bun" slogan way too literally. He ordered a dozen tacos but demanded the staff serve the contents directly into one of his own shoes, which he had placed on the counter. He claimed he was simply embracing their corporate philosophy. 66. A woman brought a small, inflatable kiddie pool into a Walmart and was attempting to fill it up using dozens of 2-liter bottles of various sodas. She told the concerned manager she was trying to create a carbonated day spa for herself. She was stopped before she could add the pop rocks. 67. A man wheeled into a mall watch repair kiosk and demanded they roll back his car's odometer because the sign said they fix time. When told they only service watches, he accused them of false advertising and asked for at least a few years off my warranty. Time remained undefeated. 68. A customer attempted to return a half-used stick of deodorant to Walgreens, claiming it was defective. As proof, he lifted his arm high in the air and insisted that the teenage cashier get a good whiff to verify that the product had failed to do its job. The manager was called immediately. 69. A family converted Crate and Barrel's patio furniture section into a surprise birthday party, complete with banner, cupcakes, and a hired magician producing napkins from a throw pillow. Guests sang loudly while shoppers tried to browse. Management shut it down when the magician requested a cover charge at the aisle entrance. 70. A teenager was banned for life from a grocery store for using one of the handheld price scanner guns as his own personal laser tag phaser. He was diving behind pallets and pew-pewing other customers, shouting "Gotcha!" every time he successfully scanned a box of cereal in someone else's cart. 71. A man in full marathon gear, including tiny shorts and a sweatband, was removed from a sporting goods store after attempting to run a full 26.2 miles on their most expensive display treadmill. He had set up his own water bottle station and got legitimately angry when they interrupted his training regimen after the first hour. 72. A group of goths was ejected from a local antique shop for holding an impromptu seance in the furniture section. They were found chanting around a Victorian-era rocking chair, trying to contact its original owner, and accused the manager of disrupting their connection to the other side when he asked them to leave. 73. An aspiring food critic was banned from Petco for conducting a very serious and very public taste test of the dry cat food. He was caught taking detailed notes in a small journal and loudly describing the nutty undertones and disappointing finish of the salmon-flavored kibble to other horrified shoppers. 74. A trio of teenagers was banned from a Kroger after attempting to create a makeshift slip-and-slide down the soap aisle. They emptied about 6 family-sized bottles of dish detergent onto the linoleum and took a running start, resulting in one of them sliding directly into a massive pyramid display of baked beans. 75. A woman was kicked out of a Barnes & Noble cafe for giving her friend a full haircut right next to the pastry display. The barista finally had to intervene when tiny clippings of hair began landing on the freshly baked croissants, a very specific health code violation not typically covered in food service training. 76. One absolute negotiator tried to barter with the cashier at a Domino's, offering to trade one slightly used car tire from his trunk for a large pepperoni pizza. He passionately argued that the tire was worth at least $40, making it a great deal for the pizza place, and was genuinely confused when they insisted on cash. 77. A man was removed from a department store after he took an entire flat-packed IKEA bookshelf into a dressing room to assemble it. He claimed he needed a quiet, private space to focus, and was only discovered after employees heard loud hammering and a string of extremely creative curses coming from behind the curtain. 78. A man was removed from a movie theater for bringing a life-sized straw-stuffed scarecrow with him and seating it in the chair next to him. He had even bought it a ticket and a large popcorn and got into a heated argument with the usher, insisting his friend had every right to be there. 79. A man rolled his broken office chair into a Jiffy Lube and demanded that the mechanics perform a full wheel rotation and alignment. The entire crew of bewildered mechanics had to patiently explain that their high-tech equipment was designed for 2-ton vehicles, not for his squeaky, pleather desk furniture. 80. A woman stormed into Macy's holiday gift wrap station with a photo of a microwave she'd bought at a yard sale and demanded they wrap exactly this. When told wrapping is for store purchases only, she insisted they FaceTime her living room and virtually wrap it. Christmas apparently needed tech support. 81. A customer was banned for life from PetSmart after employees caught him casually washing his feet in one of the large tropical fish display tanks. He claimed the little algae-eating fish were giving him a free pedicure and that his feet had never felt so exfoliated and smooth. 82. A prankster was thrown out of a Best Buy after he put on a blue polo shirt he found and started acting as a fake employee. He was caught assisting customers by confidently advising an elderly couple that the best way to clean a new laptop screen was with a little bit of steel wool and some Windex. 83. A man was asked to leave a Sephora after he treated the perfume aisle like his personal shower before a big date. He was seen spraying himself with no less than 15 different cologne testers from head to toe, creating a chemical cloud so potent it reportedly made the security guard's eyes water from 50 feet away. 84. A man walked into a Burger King and belligerently tried to return a half-eaten Big Mac, complaining that it wasn't flame-broiled. When the manager calmly explained he was in the wrong restaurant, the man demanded they honor the return anyway, out of professional courtesy to their competitor. 85. A dad was removed from a grocery store for attempting to give his son's toy monster truck a full-service car wash under the automatic vegetable mister. He was making realistic engine noises and everything, completely oblivious to the fact he was soaking a large display of organic kale in the process. 86. A man was banned from a grocery store for treating the bulk food section like his own personal sandbox. He was found by an employee blissfully running his hands through the granola bin, claiming he found the texture incredibly therapeutic and calming for his nerves. 87. A woman arrived at a mall phone repair kiosk, clutching the detergent drawer from her washing machine, and asked for an ultrasonic deep clean, since you fix electronics. When the tech explained he only services phones, she accused him of anti-appliance bias and demanded he at least use one of the tiny tools. 88. A customer was kicked out of Kohl's for trying to return a pair of very clearly worn men's underwear, which he had neatly folded and placed back in the original packaging. His argument for the refund was that they just didn't provide the level of support he was hoping for during a recent kickball game. 89. A man was asked to leave a Bank of America after he tried to use the drive-through ATM while riding a John Deere lawnmower. He had apparently mowed his lawn, continued right down the street, and gotten into the lane, causing a massive traffic jam and a serious carbon monoxide situation. 90. A family of 4 was removed from a furniture store after they arrived in their pajamas, brought their own luggage, and began to genuinely move into a display bedroom. They claimed they were testing the immersive overnight experience before making such a big purchase. 91. A man walked into a UPS store and tried to mail a single, unboxed, and rapidly cooling slice of pepperoni pizza to his friend in another state. He got into a lengthy debate with the clerk about whether it should be classified as a letter or a perishable good. 92. Two 20-somethings in Walmart organized a returns parade, lining up carts of unwanted items like a marching band and blasting a toy trumpet. They snake-wove through shoppers, saluting managers as grand marshals of restocking, until a wobbling blender tower collapsed and ended the festivities with a very unceremonious drum roll. 93. A customer at Chipotle was removed by security after he finished his entire burrito bowl and then tried to get back in line to demand a free refill. He passionately argued that since fountain drinks have free refills, the same principle should obviously apply to $17 worth of food. 94. One genius was ejected from Home Depot for trying to helpfully clean the floor by firing up a gas-powered pressure washer right in the middle of the lighting aisle. He managed to shatter 3 light fixtures and soak a terrified employee before security managed to shut him down. 95. A man was escorted out of Target after trying to sell the store manager a ghost he claimed to have captured in a mason jar. When the manager politely declined to purchase the allegedly haunted jar, the man accused him of being a closed-minded non-believer and ruining his small business. 96. An adult man was removed from a mall for getting into a physical fight with the hired Easter Bunny mascot. The man claimed the bunny had shorted him on the number of chocolate eggs in his basket and was seen trying to put the 6-foot-tall rabbit in a headlock. 97. A man burst into Vitamin Shop and demanded Vitamin W, then read from his wellness list, "Whiskey, wine, whatever works." When staff explained they only sell supplements, he pointed at protein shots and shouted, "Those are drinks with benefits." He left unconvinced, promising to hydrate the old-fashioned way. 98. A prankster was banned from a grocery store for quietly following other shoppers and secretly placing a single, raw potato into each of their carts when they weren't looking. He never said a word, which somehow made his campaign of starchy confusion even more unsettling. 99. A guy was kicked out of a guitar center for grabbing an expensive cello, slinging it over his shoulder, and attempting to play it like an electric guitar. He was making loud wah-wah noises with his mouth and doing rock star kicks until an employee stopped him from damaging the $7,000 instrument. 100. A woman tried to use a 20-year-old very expired coupon from Circuit City to get a discount on a new laptop at Best Buy. When the manager refused, she demanded to speak to his supervisor, arguing that the coupon had matured like a fine wine and should now be worth even more. 101. A man was permanently banned from a grocery store for using a fire extinguisher on the entire produce section. When confronted by the stunned manager amidst a cloud of white foam, he calmly explained that he felt the automatic misters were insufficiently hydrating the organic broccoli. Some people leave the store with a receipt, others leave with a lifetime ban. So tell me, what's the dumbest thing you've ever seen someone do in public? Drop it in the comments and let's see who's witnessed true stupidity in the wild. And if this video made you laugh, hit like and subscribe. It's the only kind of chaos we actually encourage.